Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Ashley, and in this video I wanted to review the In the Jungle curriculum from Gather Round. Just a little bit about me and my family is that I have a 5-year-old, a 2.5-year-old, and a 5-month-old, and this is our first year homeschooling. I went to public school myself, so I don't have a lot of background in homeschooling. I'm really learning as I go, and I feel like even just the first 6 months so far that I've been homeschooling, I've learned so much. So I'm really excited to start documenting that here on YouTube. So I thought it would just be helpful to go over what we thought about the curriculum in case you're thinking about buying it yourself. Overall, honestly, we really loved this curriculum. It was the perfect beginning to homeschooling. It was the perfect curriculum to start with, honestly. I didn't do a whole lot of research when we first started because I was actually just very newly postpartum. I just had my daughter in September. We started unofficially homeschooling in October, but that was before I even had a curriculum because I didn't even quite realize that I needed a curriculum for preschool. And I suppose you don't, but it's been really invaluable to have to follow. It's just to know what to teach him already. And that's why I ended up buying this one, is because after going through October, I kind of felt like I was floundering a bit. I didn't really know what exactly to focus on. I wasn't quite aware in the beginning that we were supposed to be fully teaching them all of their letter sounds. I knew that they should be learning their letters, of course, and their numbers and everything, but he almost knew all of his uppercase letters at this point. So I thought he was like further ahead than he should be, I suppose, if that makes any sense. But now that I realize that I want him to really learn all of the letters and all of the letter sounds by the end of preschool, if at all possible, we've decided that this curriculum was really helpful, but I bought a supplemental curriculum to go along with this one, and I'll get into that and the reasons why in a little bit. So I thought I'd start out with just telling you some things that we really liked about the curriculum. The first is just how beautiful it is. I will put in some slides of the flip through of the teacher's guide now so you can see just how beautiful it is. The pictures are amazing. So this is what the curriculum looks like. I chose the digital option, so I printed it out myself, and I put it in this 3-ring binder. It's a 1-inch binder, and it fits pretty perfectly in here. And then I would just remove the lesson that we were doing each day from here and put it back when I was done. It also came with this sheet, Animals of the Rainforest, each animal that you went over and where they are in the world, because I will show you in a minute the map of the world where we pasted those on, which was really fun. So it's a little bit about who created the curriculum. So on this page, it tells you how to use the book, how long it will take. Each lesson takes about 5 to 15 minutes, it says, and then the students' work takes about 10 to 25 minutes, which I found that to be pretty accurate. How long does it take? Like we were just saying, the supply list, which really technically I found the only thing you really needed was a pencil, crayons or colored pencils, scissors, a stapler, and a glue stick. You don't need technically construction paper. You could use like computer paper. All of these things you technically didn't need. And then in this section, it asks, is this enough? And then her response to that. Is there the table of contents? It is a 13-week program. There's 52 lessons, and it's 4 days a week. So each week looks like this. It starts out with a little recap of what you're going to learn, and then a little tip in the corner. And then this is what each lesson looks like. Let me zoom in so you could see it a little bit. Each day you went over an animal from the rainforest and then a little Bible lesson. And then there is a couple comprehension questions about the animal to make sure that they're retaining it. So the way that this is set up, it is 2 animals per week, so 4 days. So 2 days you did one animal, and then the next 2 days you did a different animal, which was perfect for us. My son absolutely loved learning about these animals. So I'm just going to flip through it a little bit just to show you what it looks like. The pictures in here are amazing. Like, that was probably one of the reasons that I actually picked this curriculum. I really loved the aesthetic of it. And then at the end of the week, there was a little review and an optional activity and a little prayer. And then it would always remind you to add your animals to the map. Now I'll put in a little flip through of the student book A, so you could get a little view of what the lessons are like, what the students actually work on. And then here is a flip through of the first student book. I also printed these out. He had 2 binders, one for the book A and one for book B. And then there's the same little, actually no, this is a different letter. This talks about handwriting, things that you'll need to know for the curriculum, pencil grip, the assessment, which we didn't do. She recommends every time they do the letter to mark off if it's written perfectly, but for this age, I haven't found that that was really helpful because he wasn't really able to do any of them perfectly in the beginning, and I didn't want to discourage him by telling him it wasn't right. How to use the handwriting pages, extra handwriting practice, then the table of contents. And then so for each day, we did 3 worksheets. Most of the time, the first one was something simple like this, where they learned their letter. This one, the bottom part is cut off because for a lot of them, they would cut out the animal and then create a rainforest for the animal by either they could color it, they could paint it, they could use any kind of craft supplies. That's what that list in the beginning of the teacher's book was for. For each rainforest, they could use whatever they wanted, and then they would cut it out. There was a lot of cutting practice in here, which was really nice. And then on those pages, they usually practiced their name. And then here they're reviewing shapes. And then they usually did, every week they had a number as well. And so these are all completed, obviously. So this is what they look like before or after they're done. This was before and after, learning like the order of events. And then each week also had something like this, where they learned tally marks. They would draw the amount of objects. They would have to write the number and then color the blocks. And then they would always have little practice. See, there is another one of those. I really liked about this curriculum is the Bible lessons. I really liked actually how short they are. They're very simple, but you could go deeper with them if you want to. But it felt perfect for this age. So we started when my son was 4. He's 5 now. But it felt really good for his attention span and age. And I just wanted to show you one page out of one of the lessons that he worked on after. It was talking about the fruit of the Spirit. Let's see, can you see that? And just how beautiful it is. Like, the pictures again are just so nice. So he had to cut out each of these little lemons that have the fruit of the Spirit on it and paste it onto the tree, which he loved, honestly. That was actually another one of the things that we really like, is how much cutting was involved. Before we started this curriculum, my son didn't really practice cutting at all, maybe a little bit here and there, but he wasn't very proficient at it at all. And I was like helping him hold the papers, helping him cut very much in the beginning. And now after doing the whole curriculum, he can totally cut things out completely by himself. I mean, it's not perfect, but he's learned the skill of cutting through this course, and he absolutely loves it. Every day he asks, "Are we cutting today? What are we cutting today?" So the next thing that I really liked about this curriculum is the animal lessons. That is what kept my son completely engaged. He really started falling in love with doing school at home because of this curriculum, which I'm really thankful for, because he loves animals, he loves learning facts about things, and that was exactly what this was about. You learned about each animal each day, and I have an example here to show you of this as well, even though you saw it earlier, but so as you can see, it's just a paragraph each, and then it was 3 questions to review the paragraph, and honestly, he got every question right practically the entire time because he was paying attention the whole time because he loved it so much. I also really liked how each lesson was very different from the other ones. I liked how it had a lot of different subjects tied in. Obviously, it's a lot of science because you're learning about animals. I already mentioned the Bible lessons. It did review letters and the sounds that they make. It did do numbers and counting and that kind of thing. It also had a bit of like social studies in there, before and after, things like that, which I really enjoyed because it was very different each day and it didn't get boring. And then the next thing that we really liked was how we got to cut out animals at the end of each week and put them on a map. And my son loved doing this as well. I loved being able to teach him about different countries and where they were located on the map. And I'll insert a little clip here showing the map and what that all looked like. So here is the map that we got. These are also some printouts from the curriculum. All of these up on the wall. That one was the life cycle of a poison frog. I just thought it looked really cool, so we kept it up. The 11 to 20 and this number N to Z is actually from Up in the Air. It's the next curriculum after In the Jungle. So the one A to M and the 0 to 10 is from In the Jungle. And then all of these animals were what we went over. After the week was over, you usually put the animals on the map and they got to see where they all lived. I'll link this map below if you're interested because this was the perfect size, honestly, for this activity, and also it was just really cool to have to start teaching my son about geography. He was really interested in learning about all of the different countries. So I also wanted to share a couple things that we didn't exactly like or weren't our favorites for this course. Like I said, we largely did really like it, and I did purchase the next one, In the Air. But one thing that we weren't crazy about is that each week you had to cut out these little letter books, and it had, I think, 4 sheets. They were really hard to put together, as you can see. Like, we didn't even put them together. My son cut them out because he loves cutting, like I mentioned. And then they would have one little practice here where they would write the letter, which in the beginning wasn't really great because my son couldn't really freehand letters yet, and they expected them to be able to do that a lot. But as it went on, he did get a little better with it, and it really obviously wasn't like a very big deal having these. If your child really likes to color, though, they would really like this because, as you saw, there's a lot of pictures they can color, but my son's not really very into coloring, so I just have a bunch of those books, and they're not put together, and they're just lying around, so it wasn't exactly one of my favorites. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about is the main reason why I didn't like the curriculum, or the one thing I didn't really like about the curriculum, is that it wasn't exactly spiral learning, I don't think. It had a little bit of review, but once you moved on to the next week, you didn't review the other letters all that much. I do believe that in the optional activities that I showed, they did a bit more review, and I didn't exactly have time to do those. So maybe if you plan to buy this and then plan to do those activities, it might be a bit different for you. But for us, I found my son really needed more practice of the sounds earlier. Although something to mention is that they did have flashcards that you could cut out and review with them, and I only just now did that after the fact, and we've been working on that now. So I think if maybe I had been going through that all along, that would have helped cement the sounds a bit more. He does know them, so he is learning for sure. It is teaching him a lot, but I think I'd prefer it to be more naturally in the curriculum, which is why I bought not only In the Air for the next semester, which I had to do because he just loved this format so much. He loves learning about animals and everything. So I mostly bought it for him because I want to like keep fostering the things that he likes. But I actually did buy the Good and the Beautiful preschool curriculum as well, and I'm going to just go through that at his pace and potentially into the summer a little bit. I would like to take a bit of a break in like maybe August or something, try to have a full month off, but I think we might just continue on with that preschool curriculum, and I'm hoping that that one is a bit more I'm hoping that one reviews the sounds a bit more, which I think it does, but I will keep you updated on how that goes. I think my next video will actually be an unboxing, or it may actually be up on the channel already, but an unboxing of all the things we got from the Good and the Beautiful. It's set to arrive today, and I've been tracking it like a hawk because I can't wait to get all of it. So if you're interested in what we got for the second semester of preschool and into kindergarten, then stay tuned for that, or I'll link it below if it's already up. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more if you're interested, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!